AVS Media Demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.
Papa Echo November, good afternoon, read you 5.
Good afternoon, read you 5 as well, Papa Echo November.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Like yesterday, but it was long ago. Jane, it was lovely, she was the queen of my night. There in the darkness with the radio playing low and the secrets that we shared, the mountains that we moved, caught like a wildfire out of control. Till there was nothing left to burn and nothing left to prove. And I remember what she said to me, how she swore that it never would end. I remember how she held me oh so tight. Wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Against the wind.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. Rob McConnell here, coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And join us on Facebook and Twitter. It's very simple, at X Zone Radio TV. My guest this hour is Jessica Ariel Morrocco. Now, she's been a student of Western and Eastern religions for over 20 years. She is a psychic intuitive who experiences modes of clairvoyance, clairaudience, and past life information, all of which are instrumental in creating an experience of karmic clearing and growth. Jessica is also an inspirational writer for children and adults and published 3 anthologies of children's stories relating to our environment called Green Stories for Green Children Part 1, 2, and Green Stories for Green Cities that highlights the historical city of Boston. Now, she is the published author and illustrator of Macrobee, short stories and poems from the other side, and her most recent book, The Seer, Violets in the Grass, published by Balboa Press and Hay House. It's a fictional story about a woman who enters a non-ordinary space throughout her life and discovers some secrets about why this happened. Now, it's during a past life regression when she recalls a moment when she entered a porthole while picking violets in the grass as a child. Jessica is also the founder of New Life Endeavors, a journey meditation class that helps people expand their awareness, problem solve, and discover non-ordinary realities for spiritual enlightenment. The website, it's very simple, Exonation, www.readingsbyariel.com and www.storytimewithshalea.com. And joining me now is Jessica. And Jessica, welcome to the X Zone.
Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for joining us. Where did your interest in the paranormal come from?
If it's something that occurred at a very young age, and if you talk to most mediums and psychic intuitives, you discover that this is something that happened very, very early in their lifetime, and that it began to develop later on. So, I began to, have that sensitivity to spirits and be aware of the other dimensional space at a young age.
Now, how old were you when you started doing your intuitive work, and what was it like when you discovered that, hey, I've got a gift?
Believe it or not, I have stepped in and out of that space, but I never really did any type of formal readings or assisted anyone through, intuitive guidance until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Really? Wow. You and I have to take...
This was something that I ended up practicing.
All right, let's talk about this more when we...
learning how to control it.
All right, let's talk more about this when we come back from this 2-minute commercial break. Exonation, Jessica Morrocco is our special guest. www. Do you have your pens and paper ready? Readingsbyariel.com. My name is Rob McConnell, and Jessica and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away now.
Worried about paying or even how much I owe. Moving 8 miles a minute for months at a time. Breaking all.
Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multi-family dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
On this useless night, with you so far away, I stand in front of this Ferris wheel and I wonder, what am I doing here? And I wonder, what am I doing here?
That's Jim Cuddy and Blue Rodeo with What Am I Doing Here? Well, I'll tell you, Jim, what I'm doing here. I'm bringing the X Zone Radio Show to everyone around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Turquoise Radio, Simul TV, and affiliates around the world, like our good friends at KKRP in Callington, Oklahoma. The X Zone has broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. One toll-free number, 800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv.com. And of course, Twitter and Facebook. Same address, at X Zone Radio TV. My guest this hour is Jessica Ariel Morrocco, and her website is Readings by Ariel. And thanks very much for joining us tonight, Jessica. It's great having you with us.
Hello, Rob. Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us about your experience that I read about with ET, paranormal, or unexplained events that you had as a child.
Well, the first experience that I can recall, and it was pretty phenomenal, it was one of those surreal type of dreams, but it seemed very real. And it was very vivid. I found myself, I was probably... I can't recall exactly, between the ages of 5 and 7, I was standing outside of my house in the middle of the night, dressed as if I was, going out for a walk, and yet, I knew I was supposed to be asleep in bed. And looking up, I could see a spaceship hovering over my home, and almost like a very convoluted type of view, like a fisheye, like viewing it through a fisheye lens. And I'll never forget it because I remember standing there and then looking around behind me, wondering where everyone was. It was almost as if I was at the top of the earth. It was a really strange view of it. That was something that was very prominent. The second incident that happened that I can recollect, as a child, I was sitting in my den listening to some old records, listening to some music, and a woman walked into the den that I had never seen before. And now this is in physical form. I could see her. She was very real. We had a brief conversation. She asked me to shake her hand. I refused to touch her. Her eyes just looked a little bit too wild. There was something not right. And when she saw that I wouldn't shake her hand, she left the room abruptly. But I never heard her leave or exit through the door. And curious to find out where she had gone, I thought she was upset at me. So I went to see my mother, and I asked my mother where that woman went. And she told me that there wasn't a woman here. She had no idea what I was talking about. I described the woman and everything. She said she'd never seen her, and I immediately ran to the front of the house to look out to see if there was a car or her walking away, and there was nothing.
Wow.
I have no explanation for this. It wasn't like it was an apparition. She was very, very real.
How do you explain it?
I don't. I mean, the only thing I could say is we have visitors here on the earth, and they can do some very interesting things. They can take on the form of looking like a human. There's no other explanation. Now, I have stepped into the space of, recognizing when I see someone on the other side, a person that's passed over, a human being, their soul is already, no longer living, but they're living on the other side. That looks different. It looks like an apparition. This was unusual and very unique. It was a human. It looked like a human being in the flesh, and there was nothing ghostly about it. It was very real.
When I was young, we lived in Montreal, and I remember this one night. We had moved in with my grandmother, my mom, my dad, my younger brother, and myself. And my brother and I were sharing a bedroom. And I remember one night waking up, and I've got to tell you this up front, Jessica. I'm not a very religious person. I'm not a very religious person. I have my beliefs, and I don't. I'm just not overly religious. But I must have been about 7 or 8, and my brother, God bless him, he was a very sickly child. I remember waking up one morning, or sometime in the wee hours of the morning, and I saw an apparition of what I can only describe as the Virgin Mary praying over him. And yet I'm not Catholic. I have never been part of the Catholic Church, and, if anything, I'm Anglican. Please don't hold that against me, the X-Zone Nation. So I've seen certain things that I can remember so vividly now. And yet, after doing this show for 22 years and being being at some of the most haunted, allegedly haunted places on this planet. I see nothing. I feel, I'm very intuitive. I get that gut feeling. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to seeing spirits, seeing those who have passed on the other side, I just can't do it anymore. So this has made me wonder, or it did make me wonder in my teen years, did I actually see something or was I dreaming? But having done this show for so long and speaking to people like yourself and the others we've had on this show, I now know in my heart of hearts that I actually saw that vision praying over my brother.
Mm-hmm. I believe you did.
Yeah.
And when children don't have the logical mind
mm-hmm.
that blocks our natural intuition or our third eye.
Yes.
And so, that's something that we have to learn. We have to learn to disbelieve what we're seeing. And, some of us, couldn't be talked out of it. And so we continued to see. But many of us are told, you're just imagining things. And so even when you see things, you're refusing to acknowledge it. And so the conscious mind blocks it out. And that's when, probably will bring us into the past life information that we're going to talk about. The other part of your connection to the Blessed Mother or Mother Mary that you saw, recognizing that you're an eternal soul, that you've been in this world many lifetimes, and maybe just because you're an Anglican in this lifetime doesn't mean you weren't a Roman Catholic in another.
Yeah.
Or have some association with, maybe you were there during the time of Christ. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could be connected to spiritual beings from other dimensional spaces or whatever, just even from another lifetime. So.
Do you find more and more people in today's society are looking to the paranormal for answers, or to the paranormal to fill in the blanks that other philosophies can't handle?
I do. And I think, from my perspective, most people just want to know that the people that they were around all of their lives, like mm-hmm. their parents or, someone that has passed over, even like a child or some other relative that they loved very much, sometimes even animals. Mm-hmm. And they want to know that that person or that animal, they're okay. And that transcends any type of religious belief or any other doctrine. It's just that we have a human connection. We have love. We care for others, and we feel connected to people around us, and even, like I said, our animals as well. Sometimes are very close. So yes, the paranormal helps people to find out and discover that their loved ones are okay, and that they can communicate and know that everything's okay, and also make them feel better about when their time is for them to pass over, that it's going to be okay. It's peace of mind.
You see, I look at religious philosophies in a different way than most people do. I believe that the religious philosophies that we have today were our ancestors' way of trying to understand the world that they were part of. And that if, for example, the Bible had never been written until August the 1st, 2013, how would the events that happened in biblical times be recorded? Would they be miracles, or would they be better understood, better researched, better explained?
So some of it would have been, history and things that have happened in the past mm-hmm. are all recorded in what's called the Akashic Records. And I've read in the history books, and then I've also I see the movie of the Akashic Records in different incidences where I've done readings for people that tap into the past or the historical past. And it's amazing some of the things that are revealed through this experience. And like you said, that we create these miracles out of situations that maybe were not miraculous,
right.
And then on other occasions, there might have been some really incredible things that happened that aren't even reported.
Well, for example, if Jesus Christ was born tomorrow instead of December the 25th, way back when, how would modern-day historians or modern-day reports of this event be written? Would it be a miraculous birth? Would they be able to better understand the birth from, quote-unquote, a virgin? Or would it remain the wonderment and the wonderful event that we all look forward to on December the 25th? And I've often wondered, why can't Christmas be every day of the year? Because at Christmas time, there's so much love, so much joy, so much socializing with members of your family. We take care of the needy. We give generously from our pockets instead of our hearts. And if we could have Christmas each and every day, this would be a great world. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, Rob. It is something to think about because, a lot of our belief systems are framed upon, word of mouth and things that have been passed down, and then whoever made the decision to record that history.
You and I have to take our news break. Sorry about that. It crept up on me very fast.
Okay.
We'll be back on the other side of this break with the news. Don't go away.
Have you exhausted all traditional means of healing without success? Are you experiencing communications through ghosts, angels, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services to humanity at this time through consultations. These consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you desire clarity of what may appear to be unexplainable phenomenon, then contact me through my website at aguidinglight, spelled LITE.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
You're listening to the X-Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com.
We said our goodbye the night before. Love was in your eyes the night before. Now today I find you have changed. treat me like you did the night before. Last night is the night I will remember you by. When I think of things we did, it makes me wanna cry. We said all goodbye the night before. Love was in your eyes the night before. Now today I find you have changed your mind. Treat me like you did the night before.
And welcome back, everyone. The Night Before by the Beatles from my good friend Ed Shiflett at Talkstar Radio Network. And of course, Ed is the owner and station manager of WPGS in Titusville, Florida. 1-800-610-7035 is our toll-free number worldwide. Our email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Exo Nation, the X Chronicles newspaper will be coming out in 2 weeks, and boy, do we have a jam-packed edition. I was checking with Mac Alexander, our publisher, today, and let me see, he was telling me that we have over 76 pages, full color, full pages, 11 by 17. It's available in print, online, digital, and ebook. Now, if you'd like to check the newspaper out, all you have to do is go to www.xchronicles-newspaperstand.htm. My guest this hour is Jessica Ariel Morrocco, and we're talking about so many things this hour. It's really nice to have Jessica with us. We are going to be talking about Akashic Records. We're going to be talking about past life regression. She's a psychic, intuitive, medium, life coach, meditation teacher, and storyteller, as well as a published author. Her website, www.readingsbyariel.com. And Jessica, welcome back to the X Zone. Great having you with us.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Jessica, past life regression. How did you become involved with doing regression, and what can people learn from their past lives?
I think, well, the first time I got involved with the past life regression was I got regressed myself, and that's actually how I started off the book, The Seer, Violets in the Grass. I was getting regressed. He brought me back to my childhood. I saw myself picking violets in the grass in the neighbor's house next door, which is kind of funny, is the neighbor's name was Alice. And to me, this whole thing was like an Alice in Wonderland experience. I was only, a very young child.
Right.
I'm picking these flowers. I suddenly see this mist in the grass, and then something happens. It feels like a portal opened up. I have no idea what happened after that. All I know is something supernatural happened in that space. When I came out of the regression, I remembered it and I understood it. And what the regression did was it triggered that memory. Now, how does this help us? We have a lot of memories that are buried, that can come to surface, or have different reasons why we have recollections, or that deja vu experience, or even some people have fears and phobias and they don't identify with anything that happened in this lifetime, and then discover that in a previous lifetime something had happened. Maybe they had drowned, or some other incident occurred where they created these fears. And so past lives can reveal some other issues that make us feel blocked or obstructed in other areas of our lives. So it's beneficial in a lot of different ways, other than the fact that you're curious and you sort of know that you were someone in a previous lifetime, and then discover and see the whole story behind it, which is interesting.
When you're doing past life regression and you go back in time, do you also use the Akashic Records at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you're remembering and recalling a snapshot of your life. You know, your soul experience is all connected to this long recording of each lifetime experience. And so the Akashic Records is just remembering and recalling something that's already happened. And that information never goes away. It's always available.
So when somebody goes back and they regress, what are some of the common themes that you've noticed?
What's interesting is I don't see a lot of common themes.
Really?
I see that each experience is extremely unique to the person. And they might have been in, a certain time period. Now, there are soul groups and large groups of people that, go from one life experience to another. And, they come in and there's different dynamics of the relationship. They could be a brother or sister in one lifetime and then a husband and wife in another. And, there's all different possibilities in how the dynamics work. But as far as their own personal experience and what they're learning and understanding about their life, and then what they experienced during that lifetime is usually a lesson and something that they come to understand, and many times paralleling a lesson and something that they're learning even in this lifetime. So there's a reason why certain lifetimes show up at the same time, or show up as opposed to other lifetimes.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. During a past life regression, do you find that people actually have lived not only in the past, but they've also lived in different dimensions, on different planes?
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't happen as frequently. Because a lot of times, the higher realms that are, revealing the Akashic Records and past life information, the primary reason why we're gathering this information is to help us to understand our experience. We might be stuck in an area, and it's really working with our karma and helping us to grow spiritually. Right. For us to recognize and recall a lifetime in another dimensional space that's not related to the earth plane, there has to be a reason to see that. So you don't see that as frequently. At least I haven't. On occasion, a person will bring up something like, I am somewhere else. I know it's not the earth. And, then they'll describe it, and then they understand, well, I originally came here. This was my purpose. And then they'll explain something. Later on, they'll listen to it and say, that all makes sense. Now I understand. So their mind's at ease. There's always a purpose and a reason for the lifetimes that are revealed.
Most psychics see the paranormal or ET activity through their third eye, and not in our three-dimensional space. Have you ever seen activity in the three-dimensional space like Close Encounters of a Third Kind?
I would say yes, but it doesn't happen very often. I've definitely seen entities or of some kind. You can see the eyes very clearly, or but not very often. Most of it is done through the third eye. But my third eye is very clear at times. It almost looks like I'm watching a movie.
So basically, what you're seeing are impressions. You're not actually seeing anything physical. It's more of a vision.
Yeah. Sometimes it's more like a vision, or if someone turned on the TV.
Right.
It's like watching a TV. Sometimes it's in black and white. Sometimes it's in color. I see like I'm watching a movie at times. But the previous previous stories that I told you about, the one with the spaceship, that one seemed very real to me. And that woman was clearly in a physical form. I don't know what she was or where she was from or even if she was human or not. I just know that she existed and then disappeared. So I don't know how to explain that. I know that there's been a few other incidences. I just can't recall at this moment, but it's very few and far between.
Let me ask you this. Why do you believe that ETs are here? And are they here to harm us, or are they here for some other reason?
There's all different types of extraterrestrials. And, I've seen it's either that or they take on multiple forms. I haven't quite identified that, but I do feel that there are some that seem very benevolent that are here to assist us. Some people refer to like the Pleiadians, the Pleiadians. I've seen them. They look like, to me, their eyes look like a deer.
Right.
The brown, beautiful, gentle appearance. Their form looked all white. They were wearing long white robes. Other ETs can look like the Greys, like you see the area out in Nevada. You can see all different types, and then there's some that are just unexplained, like the chupacabra. One time I saw that, I was like, what in the world is that? And then I heard the name chupacabra, and then I recognized what it was. And that was kind of a strange thing. I don't know what they were. I mean, they sort of looked like some kind of weird vampire-looking things. And it was a little startling because I could see them very clearly and up close in my third eye. It's just there's a variety of different things. Some of them are, I think they're exploring and experiencing. They could potentially be dangerous, but ultimately they're probably looking to survive and thrive here. And then there are others that are here to help us. And I think that some of them are into power, so maybe are trying to integrate in other ways where they're influencing powers on the earth. I don't know. That's the only way I can describe my impression of it.
Do portals exist? We've heard this from many people that there are portals here on this planet. There are portals in outer space. Have you had any experience with these portals? Yeah,
I've, my third eye, I have been able to see them. And I believe they've been able to identify where they are and what they are through science. I think science has identified them, and it's sort of like these wormholes. There's energy comes in, or it could be somehow a fast track from some other space where they're able to step in and then leave. And I know that I had a clear understanding or a vision of Africa, and I was troubled by Africa because Africa's gone through a lot of challenges.
Sure has.
With famines and a lot of destruction, and even people turning on each other.
Yeah.
And that's when I recognized that I believe there's a portal there was a portal there in Africa, and what would happen is these extraterrestrials would step through this portal, and the first thing that they would do is wreak a little havoc, maybe cause some destruction there. So they would step into the planet through this portal, cause some problems, and then even create this maybe attach themselves to other humans, which caused them to turn on each other, because it's not natural for humans to turn on one another like that. Who would kill their own relatives? Who would kill, their own people? It doesn't even make sense, and for no apparent reason.
Jessica, stand by, dear. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exonation Jessica Ariel Morrocco is our special guest. www.readingsbyariel.com. And she's also the author of The Seer, Violets in the Grass. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. And Jessica and I will be back on the other side of this short commercial break. Don't go away.
Back in Victorian England, a famous theologian posed a perplexing riddle. Why are the two top personalities in the Bible tagged with the numbers 7 and 11? Academics agree the answer is found in the stunning discovery of a hitherto secret Bible structure explained in a new book called The Genesis Grid. The discovery is so simple that preschool children could illustrate it. Certain claims are hugely controversial and may offend some, but at the X Zone, we've studied this awesome new book and agree with one expert, and I quote, "These discoveries appear to be beyond coincidence." So who or what hid this wonderful pattern in the Bible, and what might they do next? Find out more, X Zone Nation, and read reviews on www.genesisgrid.co.uk. That's www.genesisgrid.co.uk.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home.
Welcome back, everyone. Jessica Morrocco is our special guest this hour. www.readingsbyariel.com is her website. And you and I were talking during the commercial break off air, Jessica, and you said you had an experience that'll basically kind of shock me.
Yeah, I think this is the most unusual experience that I've ever had, ever. And when I say it's unusual, it's just I've never heard of anyone talk about this situation, the possibilities of it. And it has to do with I was able to, through my regressions, able to step back into a space where someone directed me and led me back before the prenatal, where I stepped into before I came here and incarnated as an infant.
Right.
And I saw myself in a place that looked like paradise. I mean, it was, a sandy beach. There were tropical trees. There were these guardians that were dressed in long robes. And I was like, well, who are these people? What's going on? But what was even more unusual was then I saw myself in a spacecraft. And looking in the spacecraft, I saw myself in this big, huge container of, it looked like water. I was enclosed in some kind of garment and floating in this water. And as someone was talking to me and asked me what I was looking at, and I looked up and there were two extraterrestrial beings looking down at me like as if I was in a lab. And they reached down. There was something I could literally feel the pain in the top of my head. There was like a pin or something or tube was inside the top of my head, and I could feel it. It actually was a stinging sensation. And as I looked up at those two beings, and they said, "We're going to try to take her memory away, but she is going to remember anyhow." And I heard them say that, and one of them left, and I heard someone screaming in the background, and I looked to my left, and there was a pan. I could see the panel was this stainless steel space, and on the panel there was these different colored knobs and buttons. And then the other extraterrestrial walked away from me, and I looked up and I reached behind me to try to pull this tube out of the top of my head. And when I did that, I must have pressed on something that released me out of this enclosed glass container, and I dropped down into a tube and came back out onto the beach. And when I turned around, the spacecraft was invisible but began to materialize. It's like I somehow accidentally turned off the power, and any energy that kept it invisible became real. And so and now I'm looking at this and observing. I'm like, life after life. I'm supposed to be in space where I'm passed over, and I'm in a paradise place, but there was an extraterrestrial, some type of beings coming in and intruding and even extracting people out of this space, using us as some kind of lab experiment. And I saw all these people just fell into the water, and I was going to rescue them, and the Guardians came out to try to assist us. And it was very clear to me that this was probably the most bizarre thing, and I didn't even know how to talk about it, but I've never heard anyone discuss anything like this before.
Well, we're glad you shared it with us tonight here on the X Zone, Jessica. We've got to say so long for tonight. We'll have you back on in the future. And thanks very much for joining us, and continued success.
Thank you.
Exonation, Jessica Morrocco has been my guest this hour. www.readingsbyariel.com. We'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell.